Welcome back to Lost Legacies.
A Hidden City book company production.
I'm Sam.
I'm Matt.
Everybody, welcome to the latest edition in our Christmas movie watch. Today we're talking about one of the greatest Christmas movies of all time, The Muppet Christmas Carol. Before we jump right in, Matt, do we have any housekeeping? Do we have any updates? Do we have anything we want to talk about?
No. If this is your first time listening, welcome.
Welcome.
But yeah, usually we do a little catching up, but like it's just we used to talk about TV shows, and it kind of felt okay to do that because we were talking about these shows every week, you know.
Oh, true.
But now that we're doing movies, it's just like, no, let's get into it. Like there's so much we need to talk about, but it just doesn't feel right when we should just be talking about the movies, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe that's going to have to go into the scheduling next year, you know, maybe with our dad episodes or something, but like we've essentially cut ourselves off from like all our news chat, you know, that we talk about. No, we don't talk about all the news, listeners, but like the cool stuff, the fun stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it feels weird. Like we got a lot to talk about, but like this isn't the place. And I'm like, crap.
It's like, let's talk about the state of the world right before we jump into a very warm Christmas movie.
You know, even then, you know, just like there's a lot going on in the movie industry right now that I want to discuss, but it's like people want to get to the movie. That's why they're here, you know?
True.
They want to talk Muppets. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all right then. Then we're going to jump right into The Muppet Christmas Carol. When was this made? The 1992 production directed by first-time director Brian Henson.
Was that Jim Henson's kid? Or
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Jim Henson's kid. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, and this was the first major Muppets project that went forward after Jim Henson's death.
So I didn't get to during the credits, I didn't notice. I know Frank Oz was in this for sure, but like who was voicing Kermit?
It was Steve Whitmere.
Huh. Okay.
Now, he was already like on the team of stuff.
Yeah.
Or of performers. But yeah, once Jim passed, Steve was then kind of like called upon to be the replacement for Kermit.
Because I mean, for this being like their first major project post Jim Henson, like it was a spot on Kermit, you know?
Yeah.
I think we've seen not so good Kermits, you know, voice wise since, but like this was pretty solid. And then like I think they finally found a good one, you know, starting with well, I don't know if starting with, but like when they did the Jason Segel movie. And then the sequel, and then they had the show. Like that was a great Kermit. And I don't know who did that or what, but yeah, I felt like there was a little period where it was not that it wasn't good. It was just you could tell it was someone else. But whereas this guy, like man, it sounds like Kermit. You know, sounds like Jim.
Yeah.
I've been reading and watching a lot of Star Trek, thinking about Gene Roddenberry lately. you know? So both those guys, you know, I'm like, oh man. Wow, what would a Gene Roddenberry and Jim Henson team up have looked like?
It would have been Pigs in Space, and it would have been incredible. Like a full length show of Pigs in Space.
Yeah,
you know, delving into heady ideas and concepts, and then having the comedic punchline, the gag. You know.
Yeah,
it would have been great.
Man, we should have got that movie. Wow. Yeah. So Sam, why did you pick this movie?
Couple of reasons. One, because it slaps. Two, because it's the Muppets, and the Muppet movie is my favorite movie of all time, the 1979 Muppet movie.
Right.
Yeah, and this is interesting because I feel like this is one of those movies where it was like I first became cognizant of it as I was watching it like out of season.
Mm.
You know, because I think like I would ask mom like, hey, can I like want to play with toys or whatever? I want to watch TV. Can I put on a movie? You know,
Mm-hmm.
after cycling through all of like the Disney movies and stuff, or the Star Treks, it was kind of like, well, what else is there? And inevitably, I would land on Christmas movies.
Mm.
So I remember watching like the Santa Claus, in the summertime or in April or something,
Right.
um and I kind of remember watching this movie kind of like within that like same stretch.
Mm-hmm.
But this is like, I don't know, this is one of those movies where it's like, for me it became so much more important as I was getting older,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know. Um so I would say probably like either senior year of high school or like just into college, this movie started to become like a touchstone for the holidays for me. Um, and yeah, and now it's one of those movies where it's like, yeah, it isn't Christmas until I watch,
Mm.
the Muppet Christmas Carol. And sometimes, I'll even save it to be like, no, like there are other movies, but I want to watch this on Christmas Eve right before I go to sleep. I want to watch this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Wow. That's interesting. It's the Muppet films are very hit and miss. Like,
they
I,
are.
there's some that I'm just like, this isn't for me. It's just not as funny or funny, you know?
Hmm.
The Christmas Carol, though, I always forget how good it is because this is definitely not one of like the fun ones. You know, it's
Yeah,
it's
yeah, in
it's
a way.
very Christmas Carol. So I usually I don't watch it every Christmas. I'll watch it every couple of Christmases.
Mm,
But even then, like it's one of those things like I don't know if I feel like watching that. You know, so like last night I was like, all right, let's
yeah.
watch this. You know I like the Muppets, so I'll probably enjoy it. But yeah, man, as soon as it starts, like I completely forget just how good it is and how full of life and emotion it is. You know,
Yeah.
it's such a wild idea,
Hmm.
of doing this story with the Muppets. I wonder behind the scenes, like what was the what was the process of this? Like whose idea? Like I don't know. Like why would you do this? Like,
Yeah. I didn't get the chance to like deep dive into any sort of like behind the scenes like for that, because I'm
mhm.
curious about that too. But I did see that like this was an idea that had been kind of gestating for a while, and they had done this was the fourth Muppet movie that they did.
Hmm.
Um, so I want to say I think it was like Great Muppet Caper and then Muppets Take Manhattan, I think were the
Okay.
other ones. Like, so
Yeah.
it's 79 and then the other two and then this
Again,
one.
some of those that I was just like, meh, okay.
Yeah, which is interesting because like I honestly I don't remember ever watching those.
Mm,
For me, like they're just kind of a blank slate. Like I have no idea what those movies are. So like
yeah.
I do eventually want to like go back and watch those.
Well, I know a
Even
great podcast that watches movies and talks about them, so maybe we can join them.
oh, cool, cool. Do
Yeah.
you have their contact info?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll find
Okay.
it.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
Cause
uh,
yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I remember them being on like TV or something like that, and I'm just kind of like bored, you
mm,
know. Whereas the first Muppet movie, I remember just growing up with it and just like absolutely loving it. And then
mhm.
even the older I get, I fall in love with it more and more. It's like one of those rare 5 out of 5 movies. You know, this is like a perfect film.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
the other two were just kind of like, meh, all right. So
Yeah.
yeah. Now
I w-
this one, oh, what were you gonna say?
oh, I was just gonna say to talk about the Muppet movie for a second. It's like I wonder if that's something that resonates more with us because that movie is essentially like it's a lot of the things that I think really like hit our sort of nerve endings and push our
Mm-hmm.
buttons, where it's like it's a road trip movie, it's a buddy comedy, the entire premise is about going on this trip to follow your dreams, not not losing hope, all of those things.
Yeah.
And then spoilers, but it ends, where they achieve their dreams. They make their movie,
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the other ones feel like, because that one feels very like there's a storyline, but it's very loose. It almost feels like little vignettes.
Right. Yeah.
Where I wonder if like the other movies are just more like plot driven and narrative focused,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe that's why they kind of didn't work.
Are the other ones musicals?
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah,
because
I don't know to like the same degree as the Muppet movie, but I do know there are numbers.
I'm just curious. Like the Muppet movie doesn't usually play on TV, and I don't ever remember catching it on TV as a kid. But the other ones were, and I wonder if that was part of it. Maybe it was the music. So I don't know.
Oh, could be. Yeah,
I don't know. But I completely forget how good the music is in this one, and I had no idea it was Paul Williams. So when I saw his name on the credits, I was like, oh, interesting.
That might also be a reason too why maybe the music isn't necessarily as memorable in the other two. Mm-hmm. I was reading a little behind the scenes, and Brian Henson asked Paul Williams to come back because he hadn't worked on like the previous two Muppet movies, and he didn't know why until he asked Paul Williams to come back, and then he found out Paul Williams was like a drug addict essentially, like, and that really hit like after the first Muppet movie. So he was like fairly like sober, like just like coming out of it, and Paul Williams, he really wanted to do it again, and it took some convincing, but once he like started presenting his ideas, for the music, everybody was on board. So I think
part of the success of those two movies was Paul Williams.
Yeah, of the Muppet movie and this. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because as soon as I saw his name, I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense, because just the I have a love-hate relationship with musicals.
Sure. Yeah.
I love them and I want to love them, but there's so many that I can't stand. And most of the reason it's because of the music aspect. Yeah. But this one, you can tell, like, now it was such like a slap in the face, like, oh, like, of course this is Paul Williams, because it just, the way the melodies carry, I'm like, oh man, these are just they're just really solid songs. I'm not musically versed enough to go into a whole deep dive of the music in this movie, but I know I like it, and I know it sounds unique, and not that it sounds Muppets. I mean, it does. Like there's this kind of magical kind of rhythm to it, and again, very theater. It's very theater, which I think at some point movie musicals kind of lose, even if they are based off of like theater, or stage plays. And
it's like they try to make the shift from like being theater and theatrical to being more like poppy is the wrong word, but it's like a little more streamlined and more, kind of like corporatized,
Right.
Yeah.
Hold up your right hand. Move it around. Every time you're moving, I can see a giant thing of Whataburger ketchup on your shelf.
Is it? Yeah, there it is.
It's a puzzle, everyone. It's a puzzle.
Yeah, no, it's just a giant thing of Whataburger ketchup. Custom made for me specifically.
I was like, what the heck? Oh man. Yeah, so the music was great. Including, let's get into we watched the director's cut, which again, we mentioned it last week, but in order to watch it, you have to go to Disney Plus, and you have to go under extras. Can't just watch the movie. You have to go under extras, and there's like 3 different options. Like, I think there's a trailer in there or something.
It's like a trailer and like a promo or something.
Yeah, one of the options is the extended version of the movie. And it's really only like 2-3 minutes longer. It's one song basically.
Yeah, because it's one song. Yeah.
What's it called? When
Love Is Gone.
Oh my god, When Love Is Gone. I get it. I know why they cut it. Because there's no Muppets through that whole thing. And I get it as a kid. I might find that boring.
Yeah, I mean the real reason why is because Disney associate producer at the time, Jeffrey Katzenberg, just thought the song was too sad for kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, just thought like, nah, kids are gonna be too sad by this. But then when you watch the version where it's edited out, Belle gets up and leaves that scene, and then all of a sudden, like, Rizzo and Scrooge are just like weeping in tears, and it's like,
Yeah.
there's a disconnect here.
It's so weird.
You know?
I mean, I
Yeah.
think as a kid, I don't think you would mind, you know.
You can get it. And I know
Yeah.
that there are people that prefer that version of it, you know, and
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, it's fine. Like sure, you can connect the dots, but I feel like it also, having Scrooge witness this moment again,
Mm-hmm.
you know, seeing that, I love that his like younger self leaves that version, or that moment.
Yeah, totally.
And then Michael Caine steps in to like kind of duet her, and
He
then
tries.
can't finish because he starts to cry.
I think that, like, that acting wise, that was his best scene. And I'm
Yeah.
watching it, I'm like, damn, I can't believe they cut this.
Yeah.
You know? I understand why
Yeah.
they cut the song. I wish they hadn't, because I really like that song.
Mhm.
But I understood why. But damn, that was like his best performance, because he just starts breaking down like mid song, and I'm like, oh my god. Oh my god, you know, that was like that was like the Interstellar moment for me, dude, you know. Don't let me leave, Murph. Don't let me leave. Murph. Oh god.
Wow.
Yeah.
I want to watch your version of Interstellar, actually.
Well, it has Muppets, so.
So it's the better version of Interstellar.
Yeah.
It's the best
just
version.
Matthew McConaughey and a bunch of Muppets.
Hell yeah, I'm in.
And
I'm so in.
Anne Hathaway. I feel like Anne Hathaway would fit in a Muppet movie, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, she'd have fun with it.
She's definitely got that, like, that personality that I think will riff off of the Muppets very well.
Oh, and the Matt Damon is played by the captain from Pigs in Space.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, totally.
There you go. Oh my god.
I'll be thinking about this later.
Okay, I'm gonna have to write this down on our new Muppet adaptations.
But speaking of like okay, well, last thing I'll say about the song, but it's another reason it sucks that they cut it is because they directly reference it at the end. The last song of the movie is
When Love Is Found.
When Love Is Found, and I'm like, sure, it's fine without that original scene, but like, with both of them in it, it's just like, it's a full circle, you know? I'm like, wow.
It hits so much harder. This time around, I noticed that actually Tiny Tim's song, Bless Us All, is in the exact same, like, I don't know what it's called, cadence or chord progression or something, but it's almost the exact same melody as When Love Is Gone. It's just a little higher. So I feel like there's this interesting through line of When Love Is Gone. It's the sad ballad, you know, of love lost and falling out of love. You then have this young, sick child who's talking about how thankful he is just to be around all of the things that he has, meager though it is. And then to have that progress into When Love Is Found, where you have this old, bitter man have a full change of heart and realize that lesson that a small child taught him, that yes, my life has been full of regret, but I am thankful for all the things that I can do now and that I do have now, you know? And I think that, like, that's the progression. You can still do the movie is still viewable without When Love Is Gone. But I think if you don't watch that version, you're a coward.
Yeah. It's one of those things too, like, I really love this movie. However, I feel like kind of the detriment stuff, the things that's done to its own detriment is the stuff where, like, they're trying obviously to keep the kids' attention span. You know, there's I love Gonzo and Rizzo through this movie, but there's so many like moments where scene ends and they have to do a bit, you know, and I'm like, guys, you're taking me out of this. I want the story, you know, like the whole Kermit, you know, ice skating thing and everything. I'm like, all right, guys, this is a little come on, bah humbug, let's get the story going.
Oh, come on.
But no, like, I just feel like pacing wise, it's a Muppet movie. I'm not going to criticize the pace. You know, like it's a kids movie. There's a lot of stuff for kids, but I think to kind of counter that, like something they really do well is they try to address the idea of keeping the kids' attention. Because there's so many little jokes and stuff that kind of reference like oh, now that we're back, or are you still here? Like little things like that. There were a little moment when I was catching. I was like, okay, Gonzo, that was clever. So
well, like those parts are specifically in reference to like the scarier parts, you know, towards the end.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
Because even Rizzo mentions it like kind of towards the beginning, like, oh, like are kids gonna be fine watching this? It's a little spooky. And Gonzo's like, it's educational.
Yeah.
And then they do it again once like the Ghost of Christmas Present shows up, and Gonzo's like, no, I think you're right. Like you're on your own. Like we'll be back for the finale. And I think it works because initially the ghosts were supposed to be Muppets. Miss Piggy was gonna be or I don't know like the full order or like who was gonna play who except for one, but Miss Piggy, Scooter, and Gonzo were gonna be the ghosts, and Gonzo was gonna be the ghosts of Christmas Yet to Come, with still in like the hooded shroud, but his nose was gonna be peeking out. And I think it was a wise decision to not do that, because that would make it more of the kids movie. That would make it less serious and a little farcical. Yeah. You know?
And also there's a lot of like jumps in logic that we just don't. I think that takes it too far, because like that like who would you cast then as Bob Cratchit's wife? You can't have Kermit in a relationship with someone else other than Piggy.
That's true. Miss Piggy did go on the record and say the only reason she took the role, small though it was because she could play opposite her on-screen husband, Kermit the Frog.
Yeah. So it's like that would have been weird. And then also like the future ghost is supposed to be really scary.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, you can't cast Muppets and then have this one really scary thing, you know? So it's like, I get that. It's just, man, did the little ghost girl have to be so creepy? Like, jeez.
I mean, like, that's always been my critique of the movie, is that the Ghost of Christmas Past is so creepy.
Yeah, you know? Like I like, were they trying to just make her ethereal? Like,
I mean, probably, but I also feel like it fits. It's enough of a difference between, or not between, but it's enough. She's such a different puppet than the others that I feel like it sells the otherworldliness, because otherwise, like, what are you gonna have? You know, Miss Piggy be the Ghost of Christmas Past?
Well, no, I'm just saying,
or
like
Rizzo, or something like.
No, I'm saying, like, I'm glad it wasn't a Muppet. You know. Yeah. I mean, I guess technically she was, but I don't, like, was she supposed to be like a porcelain doll? Like, I just don't understand. Like, you know, I wish I kind of, again, I want to see like the thought process behind that. You know, like, why does she have to look so creepy? Like that's my point. Like, were they trying to go for creepy because she is a ghost? Because I think that's part of why the Christmas Present it's so lively, is because he is so different from the others. You know, you can't have two non-creepy ghosts, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know, but like, because I was thinking, like, could you have just cast like a small like child in this role? Would that have worked, or were they purposely going for something a little creepier, or were they going for the etherealness? Like. Me personally, I would have gone with a biblically accurate angel. Whoa.
Just like rings and eyes and
all the eyes.
And all that. Yeah. So make that as a Muppet. I'd like to see that.
Oh god. Do you like how like the Pokemon? There's so many different. There's like a candelabra Pokemon now. There's like a chandelier Pokemon. I'm like, oh my god. Yeah. They should just do that with Muppets. Like, there's just everything.
Yeah.
Which they kind of do if you think about it. Like, I completely forgot like there's like vegetable Muppets in this
Yeah.
one, and I'm like, oh my god, I don't want to think of the consequences of that. Uh, well,
which
and
is
it,
which was also their thinking why behind like, oh, what do Kermit and Piggy's kids look like? And they're just like, no, 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 no. Boys are frogs, girls are pigs. That's it. Like,
yeah,
we're moving
solved.
on. And it's like, yeah, no, thank you for that, because I don't want to think about it.
Yeah. Oh man. Although I don't know, that would be interesting because we do get the other pigs in the movie, but they're all like the mean bank guys. They're
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like talking
Scrooge's
trash the whole time.
associates.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um. Yeah. But yeah, man. Everything about this movie was just so solid.
hmm
All the performances are great. I found it funny how Fozzie Bear is in the opening credits,
yeah,
even though his role isn't any bigger than anyone else's.
yeah. Not really.
I was like, that's
Yeah,
weird because even Kermit, right? He's not in the credits, is he?
yeah. Kermit is top billed, Matt,
Is he? Maybe I
over
kind of
Michael
just
Caine. Yeah,
maybe I just blanked then.
yeah. They talked about that, how like this is one of the only like Muppet movies where they do that. They like put the characters, like Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy, like they put them in the main credits over the actors.
Mm,
But yeah, I don't know. I think it's because like, oh yeah, by like kids, like Fozzie Bear, he's in the movie. Kermit the Frog, he's in the movie.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's also like treating the Muppets as stars, which is
right.
part of the whole shtick of the Muppets is that like,
Yeah.
hey, no, like these are the performers. We're here to watch Kermit the Frog on the Muppet Show. Kermit is
Yeah.
hosting the Muppet Show.
And again, it's another credit to them that they didn't make Kermit like the lead,
Yeah.
Which, because especially if you think about it at this point, like there hadn't been a non-Kermit led movie, so it's like, yeah, I don't know. I think Gonzo was a perfect character for this.
I do too.
I loved it. Yeah. I'm trying to think what else to discuss here. I think it's probably my favorite version of A Christmas Carol, just
Mine
because it
too.
has the Muppets.
Yeah.
But also, and we've talked about it, and all the literary people have talked about it, how like it is one of the most faithful adaptations of the story.
Yeah.
And because Gonzo actually reads the text from the book as well.
Mhm.
So, but I think it's such a great, personally, I think it's a great story, but that's subjective. Everyone has their opinions.
Mhm.
But I think like the way the story plays out is so good because, again, going into this, I was kind of thinking back to like my childhood, like, oh, okay, I don't know if this isn't the fun Muppet movie. I don't know. Let's just watch
Right.
this.
Yeah.
But I was surprised at like how well paced it was, how quick it was. Like this hour and a half went by so fast.
Mhm.
And I think it's because just the outline to the movie. So I guess shout out to Charles Dickens. Good plotting, Charlie.
Uh-huh.
He sets up the world. He sets up the world in his introduction, and then Scrooge goes on this kind of 3-act journey, with a bunch of ghosts, and then you have like the aftermath, not the epilogue, but like the actual I forgot
Like
the
conclusion,
the screenplay terms, where it's like, oh,
Yeah.
your climax, and then it's downhill till the end credits, like
falling action. Yeah.
falling action and all that stuff. Yeah. Yeah. And it's just built so perfectly. And in a lesser writer's hands, and again, I haven't read the book, so maybe the book sucks. Who knows? In a lesser writer's
I don't know.
hands, in a lesser filmmaker's hands, it could have just been very repetitive. Because again, like,
Yeah.
okay, another ghost. Okay, we're learning another lesson, But
Yeah.
the fact that like the stories were so good, and I was disappointed when we zapped back to the present because I loved all the past stuff so much,
Mhm.
and it was so emotional. And when we got zapped to the present, I was like, oh man, that's a bummer. But then the present stuff was good too. It was but like as the movie gets on, it gets sadder and sadder. I'm like, oh no,
Yeah,
oh
yeah,
no. So, but it was just it never got repetitive, and
yeah,
so that's a shout out to everyone involved, Paul Williams included, and
yeah,
Charles Dickens
yeah,
and Brian Henson. So, and the cinematographers, everything in this movie, like I'm really fascinated by how to shoot films with inanimate objects,
yeah, yeah.
like, and I mean, I guess that goes also to the puppeteers and the Muppeteers, because they're literally bringing life to these characters. They're turning these puppets into characters, into Muppets,
Yeah, yeah,
and how do you shoot that? It is something that's kind of weird, and they have struggled with throughout the history of the Muppets. But like, how do we film the Muppets? What's it called? Like a full body shot.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, those are definitely weird, and it hasn't really aged well. But for the most part, when you don't see their legs, like for the most part, it looks great.
Yeah. So, like some of the full body shots don't look well. There's not necessarily one in this, although there is that moment where like Kermit's like skating and you see his legs.
That looked weird.
Like jumping around.
The
like,
one
that looks really weird.
Really looked awesome was where him and Tiny Tim are walking down the street and singing.
Yeah.
It looks so good.
It looks really good.
And I didn't notice it ever until this watch, but like you could see like the street, like it's rotating. So they have him on like I don't know what you call it. A giant like rolling pin. Like,
Yeah.
so Kermit and Tiny Tim are moving like they're walking, but the ground beneath them is rolling past. Almost like a treadmill,
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, that's cool. I just caught it, and it's like you can see it. You can see how they made it, but like that's the movie magic,
Yeah.
And it looks very realistic as opposed to the skating scene. Whoa, I'm like, all right.
Yeah, yeah. I'll allow it. It's a fun little break, especially like you said, like the movie gets sadder as you go along. So like,
I think
let's
that's
have
also
some fun. Let's have the penguin Christmas party. Like it's fine.
Merry Christmas, penguins. I'm like, can we say that? Can we say that? Is that a little racist?
No, they're penguins.
I don't know. I don't want someone calling me human. Merry Christmas, humans.
Yeah, it's what I am. I'm okay with it.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm a lot of things that I wouldn't be comfortable people calling me straight up like that.
I guess if it's the context,
Yeah, it's the context. It's Christmas.
It's Christmas. I'll allow it. I'll allow you one slur.
I wasn't going that far, but if Sam allows it, I'll allow it.
For me specifically, not just like a free range.
That's what Sam says. No. Everyone gets one slur.
At me. That's the addendum.
Everyone gets one.
Everybody gets one.
Oh man. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel. I mean, I think we've done a good job talking about this movie and praising it. It's really weird because we have this issue where we can talk forever about, like Sister Swap, but when it comes to stuff that like is really good, I'm just like,
great
I loved
movie.
it. All right, next one.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
No.
I think like. I was, looking at the behind the scenes on IMDb, and I did see an interesting edit that they made to the story was just like where they essentially switched scenes.
Mm-hmm.
So in this movie, Scrooge and the Ghost of Christmas Present, they go out into the streets, they have their little dance number. They're like singing in the city square, and then they go to Scrooge's nephew's party, and then they go to the Cratchit household.
Mm-hmm.
In the original book, and in almost every other film adaptation, those scenes are swapped. They go to the Cratchits first, and then they go to Fred's party. And I didn't know that until I was reading about it this morning, and I'm like, I think that changes a lot of the context of Scrooge's progression. because once he gets to the present and he starts to like see everybody dancing, he sees, the spirit of the present being like, this is what the season is about. It's about giving, it's about being together, and everybody celebrates. He even shrinks down to the size of the little Mises as they're like,
Right.
in their little hole. And and Scrooge eventually like relents, and he's just like, Spirit, I had no idea. Like, I want to see what's going on. I think going from that to Fred's party kind of does this interesting thing where it's like, okay, so he's made the connection that like Christmas is about being with people you love. Well, he doesn't have anybody else in his life except his nephew.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go there. And he goes there, sees that they're playing a game, they make fun of him, realizes that like, oh, like that's what I am. I'm a joke to people. Like, people don't like me. And then goes to the Cratchit house to see that like that spirit still kind of endures, where like Emily doesn't like Scrooge because of how mean he is. But here's Bob, who is obviously living in squalor, trying to make the best of life, also raising a toast to Scrooge, saying that none of this would be possible without Scrooge,
Yeah.
And then having Tiny Tim be the one to kind of open Scrooge's eyes to be like, oh, my actions have consequences. It's not just what people are saying about me at party games. It's about how people live.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the direct cause to that. And I think that's a better progression than just having it be going from seeing everybody, living and partying, going to the Cratchits, and then going to Fred's.
Well, I mean, it depends, what the like how it's done in the book. Like how does that scene actually play out? Because I think a big scene, I mean, a big reasoning that scene is so with Tiny Tim and the family so emotional is because it's Muppets. So that holds a big part of the emotional weight.
True.
Whereas the other scene is just all humans. And I could easily see a version of this where it's like, yeah, sure, he still feels those things and he still kind of gets that stuff with, the Cratchit family, but it's not until he sees his only living relative, his nephew, is the one talking crap about him and they're laughing at him. That's where he's like, oh, that's where it kind of hits him in the ego, I could see where they were going for it in the book, and maybe it works in the book, but for the movie,
maybe
for
it
sure,
does, yeah.
It's little Tiny Tim, and it's Kermit and his family, and you're like, oh, that's where the emotional oomph is.
Also, this is one of the only versions that portrays Tiny Tim as sick as he is. Because I think a lot of the other versions kind of like downplay it, where it's like, oh, he just has like the limp and he's just kind of weak, but like this is one of the ones where he's like, no, he has like whooping cough, like he's actively dying in front of us, which was one of the things that I think Katzenberg and then like maybe other like censors and stuff like push back on. They're like, hey, like this is kind of heavy stuff for a kids movie,
yeah, it's like, guys, we're either doing this or we're not. We're telling this story or we're not. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, it's like that was life, that was what Dickens was talking about. Dickens doesn't, skimp on that stuff. So like, why should we?
Yeah. I get it. It's not a kid's story though,
Yeah.
The Muppet movie is.
Yeah, so, the like, Muppet movie is, yeah.
I get that, but I like to think that you can elevate, film, it's an art. It doesn't matter if it's for kids or not. And and it can elevate your audience, so let it. And I think that's what, keeping that in there, and then keeping the Love Is Gone song in there. Like, it just kind of opens the world to kids in a different way. So.
Yeah, especially because like this movie does go to like great pains to show you that like Christmas is such a magical time and a wonderful time, and all this stuff. But then, you also have, you have those moments where it's like, hey, that little cute rabbit bunny that got a wreath thrown at him like 2 minutes ago, yeah, we're listening to a lovely little song by Kermit, and he's excited, only one more sleep till Christmas. And where does that song end? It ends on that little bunny shivering in the cold. It's like, that's reality.
Yeah.
Like once we go to the future, it's like, hey, like this is the Cratchit house. This is a place of merriment. Why is it so quiet? Oh, because everybody's weeping because Tiny Tim is gone. You
Yeah.
know, and it's like that's the reality. Christmas is such a hard time of year. I think it's always been hard, and you can look at studies on that. You know, it's like it truly is. It's like it's the end of season. It's the changing of a season. Um, you know, usually this is when things start to get colder, you know, so it's like you're more isolated, you're more indoors, you're clinging closer to whoever is around you. I think once we've added on all of the commercialization and the parties and all this stuff and the gift giving, like it gets hard for people. And it especially gets hard for people who are going through, you know, struggles, you know, talking with family or who don't have family or anything. It's like I think if you take those elements away, you know, in a kids movie, I think that's a detriment to kids. Like you're easing
Sure.
like you're easing parents, you know,
Yeah.
not wanting to have the difficult conversations with their kids.
Yeah. Like
But
in
for the
2025.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know, but it's like this is the reality for a lot of people, you know. So I prefer that they don't shy away from it and that they treat it as serious as they do. There is no song, you know, for the future because it is dark. You know, it is bleak. Like we're literally looking at four business pigs talking and joking about, you know, the funeral of a dead man. You know, this big creepy spider is, you know, like trying to haggle with how warm the blankets are from this. You know, you read into the context, it's like, hey, that woman took the blankets probably from Scrooge's corpse. Like that's creepy. That's scary, you know, like that is a thing that you can read accounts on, you know. And then you have the entirety of the Cratchit house, you know, where it's like jumping topics but relating it back in a second. In the very first episode of Game Changer, Sam Reich is asking true or false questions of like the cast, and when he goes to Brennan answers the question whereas he will cry in any movie or any show or any project where a character is putting on a brave face through a difficult situation. Earlier this year, Izzy Rowland, while promoting her movie, talked about how The Muppet Christmas Carol is one of Brennan's favorite movies, and it's an important movie to him. When we started getting closer to the scene of, you know, Bob coming home, you know, to the family, and, you know, everybody not rushing him like they did in the previous scene, like just kind of slowly creeping up to him, it made me realize that Brendan Lee Mulligan and I cry at the exact same moment in this movie. And it's the second that Bob Cratchit opened the doors and says, "Hello, my dears." And everybody's just, you know, and I'm like, yeah, like that's such a powerful moment, you know? Yeah. And I've seen this version of Christmas Carol so many times that I can't necessarily speak to like the other versions, you know, with like Patrick Stewart or George C. Scott or anybody.
But you can't beat the Muppets.
I feel like you can't beat the Muppets. Like, yes, like it is a little bit emotional manipulation having Kermit's voice break when he's talking about his son, can't finish a sentence. And, you know, like Miss Piggy has to come in and say that like Tiny Tim loved the ducks, you know? And you're like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, man, like that's the power of movies right there. You know? So it's like kids need that, parents need that. I think everybody needs to be reminded that like this is life. You know?
And you know, I don't want to go off on a whole tangent talking about, you know, what should be in our movies and what shouldn't, but it's like cinema and the film industry is so instrumental in kind of shaping
like perceptions,
but also the course, the trajectory of everyone in a way. And it's like this is the stuff, this is the mentality we need to keep, you know, like, yeah, life's tough and we got to prep our kids for it. We have to have those hard discussions. You have to talk to your kids about death at some point.
At some point, yeah.
And it's just like the movies, instead of fearing the movies, it's like, oh, well, how do I talk to my kids about this? I'm like, with the movie. Now I'm not a parent, so I don't know, but I'm just like, you can do it on your own or you can do it with the Muppets. Which one do you think is going to go over better? You know, it's simple addition, folks. That's it. It's just numbers. So it's still uncomfortable and it's still going to suck, but like it's just like take as many tools as you can get to help you get through it, instead of just like trying to look away, keep your kids' heads buried in the sand.
Yeah.
So and that's what movies really should continue. Instead of it's like we shouldn't even be having this conversation right now. That's just how messed up everything is right now, and it's just like so many people are afraid of being uncomfortable that they'd rather run than deal with the situation at hand. So let your kids watch the Muppet Christmas Carol. So, and not to brag or not to one up anyone, but like I was crying long before you and Brennan were. Like the second Kermit and Tiny Tim come singing, walking down the street, I was just like in tears, dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, because I know what happens. I know what's coming, I'm like, oh my God. So, and then, as that goes on, and then even when Scrooge was trying to sing, I'm like, oh my God, dude, that, I'm in my late 30s, 40 is just around the corner. And that's something that's very, on my mind right now, just like age is coming around and I don't have kids or a wife. And it's just like, damn. And it's not even, not to get too personal or anything, but it's not even the fact of like, oh man, I wish I was married. I wish I had kids. No, it's more like it's the future, because I know how long that stuff takes. Yeah. And that's where I'm feeling Scrooge, man. And when he sees, what's the girl's name? Katie? Mel?
Belle.
Okay. When he sees Belle, and I'm like, oh man, you just see him. Even before he tells the little creepy spirit girl, please don't show me that Christmas. Like he knows what's coming. I'm like, oh my God, dude. Like, I love all of that. I love when he sees himself as a kid and he's both like in wonder, but then also you can see his heart breaking as it goes on. And even before anything happens, he just kind of sees where like he wishes he had done things different. Yeah. And he never says it, he just says it with his face. And like, dude, props to Michael Caine. Like, yep. Like even if this wasn't a Muppet movie, like just the performance he gives, it's just, again, it's all on his face. And you know how I like silent acting. Oh yeah. I'm like, dude, this is so good. And to see him change, but to also keep it consistent with the songs. I love when, was the Middle Ghost Christmas Present, where he's singing the song and then Scrooge doesn't join that song, but he starts like moving. He starts kind of like dancing. Yeah. You start to see him, like, it's still the same consistency. It's not like, all of a sudden we break into song and he's a different character, like a lot of musicals. No, it's still the same character and he's still hesitant, but now you actually see him breaking through. And I'm like, dude, what a performance, man. It's like, damn. So yeah, to see Scrooge go through that, and again, like, it reminded me of Interstellar. I was like shouting at young Scrooge, don't leave, don't let him leave.
Tell her you love her. Marry her right now.
Yeah,
just do it.
Idiots.
It doesn't matter that you don't have the money. It's fine. It works out.
Yeah. It's like, oh man. So yeah, and then we get into all the Tiny Tim stuff, and it's just like, oh man. And then just to see like the heartbroken grieving Kermit. I'm like, oh, dude, like I can't take this. The whole
Mm-hmm.
second half of the movie, I was just crying the whole time. I'm like, oh my god. So, but and I think Christmas is it's not Christmas's fault that it's a hard holiday. It's all the external
Sure.
stuff that comes with it.
Yeah.
Because there's a good chance if you feel this way during the holidays, you probably feel the same way around your birthday, you know?
Yeah.
And I know certainly that's me the older I get, where it's just like I don't really feel like celebrating my birthday anymore, you know?
Mm.
It's like I'd rather just celebrate, just be with, the family and stuff, people I care for and love for, but like it's not necessarily for my birthday. But I think it is the fact that it's like all these different things are coming to head at the end of the year. And
Yeah.
you're surrounded by a lot of people who are happy, or at least they seem happy. They seem full of joy,
Yeah.
And I think that's what's hard too. And kind of facing the your life's choices, where you are. The new year is a time of new beginnings, so I think there's a lot of self-reflection,
Yeah, for
whether it's a
sure.
good self-reflection or bad.
Hmm.
There's a lot of grief and fear play heavily throughout the holidays, whether it's from the more religious aspect of the holiday or just the people who are no longer with you or who aren't with you that year. It's
Yeah.
just like, yeah, it's a very we come from a family who has always celebrated, so I don't know what it's like for people who haven't celebrated or who have less of the warm fuzzy feeling during the holidays,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
because like, geez, if I can get seasonal depression, who knows what they're going through, like, or does it not hit them as hard because they don't have that connection to the holiday, so
Yeah.
it's different things like that. One of my favorite Doctor Who episodes was the last Christmas special, and
Mhm.
he teams up with Nick Frost, who plays Santa, and they fight aliens. I love it. But the whole theme is like, every Christmas is a last Christmas for someone. You never know who's going to be there next year,
Yeah.
and there is something kind of heartbreaking about that. And then you go back to the Matt Smith Doctor, where he even says you probably ask, why are all these people so happy and celebrating when they know pain and heartbreak is to come? It's like, well,
Mhm.
because pain and heartbreak is to come, so they're enjoying this moment right now. And I
Yeah.
think all of that just wraps up into the holidays. So, and the fact that we can tell this story and go through this different like gauntlet of emotions and themes with the Muppets,
Yep.
it's just cinema. Like, oh my god, man.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
yeah, I don't know, like, what other Christmas movie do you think taps into that well?
Of like life and like
Well,
changing of seasons,
well,
like
the sadness, like this movie is really able to like harness the sadness, a little bit of terror,
Yeah.
as well as the joy. You
Yeah.
know, I think "It's a Wonderful Life" is an obvious one.
For sure. Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. It's a newer one, and maybe not to like the same degree or the same level as either "It's a Wonderful Life" or Muppets Christmas Carol, but Klaus.
Which
I
was
think
that?
I don't remember what year it came out. Maybe 2017 or 2019. But it's a fully animated movie, and it's about Jason Schwartzman plays the son of like the head of the post office, who's just a brat and he's spoiled, and his dad cuts him off from money and sends him to like the furthest place north to establish a post office, and says like you can't get back until you send 1,000 letters or something. Um sends him to like this weird, creepy little town, warring families. You know, it's all this very like fun stuff. But he finds this old toy maker living in seclusion and isolation, teams up with him, and essentially they both become the myth of Santa Claus. You know, this old toy maker voiced by J.K. Simmons, you know, who has the sled, and the kids write letters to him saying, I would like a toy, you know, and he gives it to them, and Jason Schwartzman has to stamp their letters and mail them. And it's like, it's fun. It's a fun movie, but it also taps into a sadness because J.K. Simmons, who plays Klaus, is he's a widower. He lost his wife. They had the toy shop and they were living their life together, and she was sick and passed, and then he's just alone. He doesn't make things anymore, you know? And so it takes this spoiled person trying to do something for themselves to break him out of this funk. And then they grow together, and in turn they spark life back into the community and joy.
Right.
You know,
right.
You know, and it is like, you know, it is more of a kid's film, I think, than Muppets is, but it also doesn't shy away from like kind of like the sadness that is inherent in it.
Right.
You know, and I think it's good. You know, talk about movies that make you unexpectedly weep. That movie makes me weep every time, and it always creeps up on me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I think not to that same degree, but I love like when a movie can like tap into something like that. So Noelle with Anna Kendrick.
Oh yeah.
Great movie. It's fun, you know, it's good, but there's the scene where she starts doing sign language with the little deaf girl. And Anna Kendrick doesn't realize that she can do sign language. It's just like natural to her. And even the mom, like, kind of, she's like, oh, I didn't know you could do that. She's like, neither can I. And she's communicating with her. And it's such like this beautiful little moment. And like, that's kind of the turning point. Spoiler alert. That's kind of the turning point of the movie where like, that's where you realize, oh, she's the one who's supposed to be the next Santa. You know, because she's the one who, it's not all these other rules and things and business structure, you know, how you become Santa. It's like, he's the one who could communicate with kids, and like she's the one who didn't even realize that she magically knows sign language because there's a kid who needs Santa, you know. And it was such a beautiful moment that like I remember first watching it, like I started to cry, and that's probably like the only moment in that movie, you know. It's not a Muppet Christmas Carol, but like still, it was a great moment. And I'm like, man, like that's awesome. It's like, for the purpose of storytelling, like you have to have those sad, heartbreaking moments or revelations to earn that joy, you know. And you know, that's something that I think Christmas movies need. The bad ones don't necessarily have.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and there's a lot of bad Christmas movies out there that I won't discuss because some of them are popular and people love them, and I'm like, I don't want to rain on your parade. So,
yeah.
But I don't know. It's kind of like, it's interesting because, you know, we just got done watching like the Halloween movies, and you know, I'm not a fan of scary movies, but I do enjoy the little creepiness of it, you know?
Yeah.
Like this little darkness, but then like Christmas bringing its own little darkness to help like the brightness shine brighter is something that fascinates me. I'm like, how could you? Because every time I think about horror movies, like how would I do a horror movie? It's always something like that. I'm like, oh, it quickly stops being a horror movie. You know, it becomes more about hope. You know, because like I was coming up with a story idea the other night, and I'm like, oh no, that's not scary at all. That's not a horror movie at all. You know, it's like, it's just really dark just so you can make it about something really light.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. I would like to play with that more in a spooky setting. So.
If you think about it, I feel like, you know, A Christmas Carol is your perfect version of a horror movie in that it is this scary event that happens to one man over the course of a night.
Yeah.
But it ends so joyously and so hopeful.
It's a ghost story, and
ghost
a lot
story.
of it takes place during the day, which is something I'm fascinated with. Horror movies that take place during the day.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to see more stuff like that. Like Killer Santas have been done over and over. Krampus has been done over and over. Like I want to see a Killer Santa, or a legion of them, or Krampus, but I want to see actual Santa Claus come and wreck shop.
Yeah,
like
that's what I want.
Silent Night, right? With David Harbour.
Violent Night.
Like Violent Night, but as a horror movie, I want Santa to be the good guy, which kind of reason why I like that Doctor Who episode, because it's Santa versus aliens, but it's also some weird head trippy stuff going on with that.
It's a little Inception too,
It's very Inception as well, which I thought was brilliant, because you're kind of like, well, wait a second, is Santa real or isn't he?
Yeah.
Who the hell's fighting these aliens? Is it Santa or is it me?
So Santa was in me.
Anyway, go watch it. It's called Last Christmas, Doctor Who. Listeners, thank you for joining us. I'm having to make an executive decision, because the movie I was going to bring to the podcast next week, we're actually delaying a week because we're going to save it for the Christmas special with Dad.
Yeah.
Which I haven't even talked to him about. I hope he's available.
Please get on that. Please get on that.
So an executive decision. We're going to get into a sequel next week, because we talked about some classics and a Hallmark. We just watched every year, A Christmas Story. So next week on the pod, we're going to watch the sequel. Technically, actually, no, there was already a sequel. I want to say in the 90s or 2000s that apparently wasn't good. Yeah. But next week, we will be watching A Christmas Story, Christmas. Which, let me double check, but I think it's on HBO.
I think it's only on HBO.
Yes, HBO Max. A Christmas Story, Christmas, which is a sequel to the 1983 movie A Christmas Story, starring Ralphie and Randy and the old man. What did they just call the mom? Just Mom?
Really, Mom.
Mom, yeah. I haven't seen it since it came out, which it's already been like 2 or 3 years, but I remember I really liked it.
Okay.
Sam hasn't seen it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it'd be interesting to get back into it, to see how, especially because The Christmas Story is it's one of those classics, and it means a lot to a lot of people. And I remember being surprised that I really enjoyed it. So I'm curious to see how you would feel about it, because it's the same. It's the kid who played Ralphie. He's an adult now. He's a grown man. Grown up. Yeah. So he's playing him as an adult. And I think it touches on a lot of the stuff we just talked about for Christmas. That's kind of interesting too, because I think we inadvertently started talking about what ingredients do you need to make a Christmas movie or a Christmas story.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, and thanks to the Muppets, they brought them all.
Yeah, they brought them all.
Yeah. I just saw a show with I forgot what YouTube channel it is, but it's like a cooking channel. But they had the cast of Dimension 20 on, including Brendan Lee Mulligan, who we already discussed this episode. And one of the challenges they faced was, it was Allie and Siobhan, and they both had like this bowl of soup, and they just had to eat the soup, and whoever could guess the most correct ingredients.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, that's really crazy. And it was a lot. There was like almost 20 ingredients or something like that. And I don't know, just this discussion kind of reminded me of that. Like, this is a giant pot. All we got is some water, but we need to make a Christmas miracle out of this. What do we do? What do we throw in there?
What are we adding? Yeah.
Gonna throw in some holly, some jolly, some grief, some ghosts. Boom. Who knows what's gonna come out? So Yeah. Next year we're going to be talking about a lot more movies. And I think it's going to be kind of interesting because we've never really talked about Christmas movies before.
I
We
guess
talk
that's
about
true.
it like
Yeah.
in our personal life, but we really don't go that into it the way we would talk about horror movies. So like I'm
Yeah.
kind of curious, like all the new stuff I end up watching next year, what can I find like threads of like similar to a Christmas movie? We've talked about how horror is similar to action and comedy
Hmm.
and the themes
Hmm.
like because a lot of these Christmas film ingredients really go in all of them, grief
Yeah.
fits in every genre, even comedy, like
Hey, that's true. I mean, I have on my letterboxd a tag that is called horror of living, and
ooh,
it's everything. Like anything goes, like any movie, if it's a sports drama, if it's, a rom-com, if it's a
uh-huh.
Christmas movie, a horror movie, a sci-fi, anything that has this this innate idea of like, well, this is just what it's like to be alive.
Mm,
And that can be horrifying.
yeah,
It's even something, small. It's like, oh man, I suffer from so much anxiety, but I have to do this if I need my life to go forward. That's terrifying. It's
yeah,
like that's going in the horror of living tag.
yeah,
So like I think the best stories, especially Christmas ones, are about fear and overcoming it.
yeah,
And that is usually the Christmas miracle that needs to happen, because you have to have the Christmas miracle. So that's usually what it is, like overcoming your obstacle and
right.
being rewarded essentially.
Hmm.
So
Well, see, I wonder, can you do the same thing in a horror movie?
potentially, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we're gonna have to find out. We're gonna have to write a new horror movie, new genre of horror films.
The
Yeah,
hopeful holiday horror movie.
yeah, yeah. Well, and it doesn't even have to be holiday, but like it could have like those same themes and beats. You
For
know,
sure. Yeah.
uh, that's kind of interesting. Yeah, like what? Hmm. Maybe next year we could find a discussion or do a something on like horror or scary movies you think could work as Christmas stories. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we already talked about Star Trek Generations, not horror, but sci-fi,
Mhm.
adventure, fun, but it definitely works as a Christmas story as well. I'm like, I
Yeah.
wonder if there's some spooky stuff out there that would work. Um, wow.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
And you listeners will find out with us.
Absolutely.
Stick around.
Stick around.
If you stick around, you'll
Yeah.
definitely find out with us. Well, folks, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here with us today. We appreciate it. Go like, comment, subscribe, leave a review. That really helps the channel grow. You can find both of us. You can find our channel, hashtag Lost Legacies. We're on most platforms. We will find it. If you have any questions, comments, tell us about your favorite moment. Tell us about your favorite Christmas Carol moment, hashtag Lost Legacies. Also, if you want to shoot us an email, that is in the description below on both our podcasts page and on this YouTube video. So if you want to shoot us an email, just go click on that. Matt and I will answer it. We'd love to read your email on the channel. So once again, thanks for watching. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and until next time,
God bless us, everyone.
everyone.